Happy New Year. Can you believe that 2019 is coming to an end in less than 2 weeks? Less than 2 weeks, guys. Literally, I remember, I feel like it was just yesterday that I was just wishing my friends and family Happy New Year. And before I knew it, the year was over. Anyways, back from memory lane. So today, my job is to help us to make sure that 2020 is a productive year. Have you noticed or have you witnessed some people who make New Year actually majority of people do this. They make New Year resolutions every single year. And sometimes it's the same goal over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then because they're doing the same thing, not really taking time to watch what they're doing or to watch what they're planning or taking time to kind of know how to make smart goals, how to make these goals. It's like the year is repeating itself over and over again. So today I am here to make sure that we have a productive 2020. Okay? Most people, when they make goals, sorry but not sorry, they're foolish goals. I say that because their goals, they just write something just to write something. But if you can join the 3% population that does goals, they make goals that are smart. Now, SMART stands for, the S stands for specific. Don't be broad. Don't write a goal like I'm going to lose weight. You can lose 1 pound today, and I'm pretty sure that's not what you want to do. You want to lose more than that. So make sure your goals are specific. The second letter, M, make sure they're measurable. There has to be a number attached to it so you can, track results so they're measurable. Make sure your goals are attainable, which is A, realistic, which is R. Please, if you have not had any politics, any political background or any of this, you can't come and say I want to be a president. You can't do that, And it sounds funny, but there are people who make goals that, like, you look at them, you're like, girl, what's up? How you going, what? That's not the point. But make sure it's smart, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Time-bound means there has to be a deadline. And I know there's some goals that are going to take a little bit longer, but have a time. That way, you can keep track of these things. So what you're going to need to make sure 2020 is productive are these things. First, grab some writing utensils. I love colors, so I make sure I always have a variety of colors. I have blue, red, black, and I have some other colors, but we're not going to go through that. Make sure you have some loose leaves of papers. Just any papers in a book or something like that, loose leaves. The one of the most important thing you will need. A planner. Please, we've seen these a lot in stores, and we normally walk past them. You need a planner, honey. Because my mom will always tell me this. If you don't make plans, you will fit into other people's plans. Let that resonate with you. If you do not make plans, people will fit you into their own plans. Make plans. Everything you do per day, everything you do per week, everything you do per month will determine how your year will look like. So it is so important to have a planner. And then, after you've written your goals, which I will show you the steps, you need a vision board. It doesn't have to be this big, but I'm a little extra. So I like my stuff big because I'm big and bougie. I'm just kidding. But I like extra stuff. So something big, okay? And guys, I got this from a dollar store. It's just $1. This is Dollar Tree, $1. So it doesn't have to be all expensive, but just get something. So those are the stuff that you're going to need. Then what you're going to do is, and I'll give an example of how I do mine. But with your sheet of paper, you're going to write down 5 to 7 categories. Now, the categories that you need to make plans for every year is, number 1, your spiritual life. How do you want your spiritual life to be like by this time next year? Family/relationship. Academic/career. So I'm including students and, regular adult stuff. So spiritual life, family/relationships, academic/career, health. Now, many people don't make plans for health, but you need to make plans for health, honey. So health, and then your financial goals, and then you're going to need fun. I think that's 6 that I mentioned. So let me check my notes. So I actually brought my laptop today. because I know myself. I may forget. I think I got it right. Yeah, spiritual, family/relationships, intellectual, academic/career, financial, health, and fun. So I said all of those. I don't know how I ended up with 6 fingers the first time. Anyways, that's the point. So this is 7 areas. And for me, I kind of condense mine in other areas, but I'll show you my plans, but it's just me. But you need those. So make sure you take up with your sheet of paper, you write down those categories. And I'll give an example as I'm going through, but write them down. Underneath each category, write 3 to 5 goals. Don't write 10, don't write 20. Try to leave a maximum of 5. The reason why is because many of us, we go about writing so many goals that we lose track. It gets crazy. So write 3 to 5. And after you go through the 3 to 5, after you've written each category, then go back and fine tune them. What does it mean to fine tune? It means you're going to take your goal and make them smart. Remember, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bound. So go back and make sure these are all SMART goals, okay? So after you've written each of these goals here on your sheet of paper, you've fine-tuned, you've had time to erase, you've done this and done that. Then have your planner. Take your planner out. The spaces that are in front of the planner. This is actually my new one for 2020, so I'm super excited. The spaces you have, if I can open it. It's not opening. The spaces you have, write them down. Now, when you're writing on this planner, you're not going to write everything you wrote here. Otherwise, you will feel like you just won't have enough space. The only goals you'll write here are the specific part, the S part of the SMART goals. So write them. So I'll show you an example. Like I mentioned, you'll write like a big star and write the category and then write those specific parts of the goals, stuff like that. Okay. And after you've done that, you're going to take your words that you wrote on the paper and make them into a picture, because the more you can see it, the more visual picture that, okay, let me come back. When you see the things in pictures, it does something, encourages you, okay? So make a vision board. And once you've done that, the vision board, put it in your room, somewhere you can always see it. Now, don't put it and then just forget it. I think one of the things that people do a lot is that they write goals, and that the first time they looked at those goals was the first time they wrote it. The last time they looked at those goals was the first time while they were writing it. Literally, they write goals, pack it away. I'm going to give you 3 tips to take with you before I show you an example. Number 1, when you're done writing these goals, make sure you review them at least once a week. At least. They say out of sight, out of mind. So make sure it's always in front of you. That way, if you sway anyhow, by any chance, once you look at those goals, you're able to align yourself back. So make sure you look at us, number 1. Number 2, have an accountable partner. Now, it's not everybody you're going to share your goals with. Please don't. They're dream crushers, and we all know what's up, right? So have somebody come like, look, hey, this is what I'm believing to do in 2020. This, etc. And then that person's always like, so hey, what happened to what you said? What happened to, they can hold you accountable. That's that. Number 3, dream big. Don't be afraid to stretch yourself a little bit. And like I said, my examples I'm going to show you will showcase some of the goals that I have written that I've like mind-boggling. Like whoa, how can I do this? But dream big. You know why? Because your job is to dream, and God's job is to make sure that dream comes to pass. All God is asking is for you to allow Him to stretch you. So dream big. So the first thing, make sure your goal is always in front of you. Number 2, have an accountable partner. Number 3, dream big, stretch yourself. Now, I'm going to go show you my example. And it's going to be step by step. So I know this was a little bit fast as I was going through. Sorry, okay? It's just, look, we're going to have to get used to each other, all right? So, but if you have any questions, anything, just make sure you hit me up. Comment, DM me. I prefer you comment because other people who may have those questions can see it as well. But as always, make sure you share this video because it may help somebody. Actually, it will help somebody in 2020. All right, let's go. Let me show you my example. All right, guys. As I promised, here I'm going to illustrate step by step of how I do the goals that I kind of ran by real fast. But anyways, let's get started. Now, I always start by using some piece of paper first. And then once I'm done, I transfer it to my planner because, like I said, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I don't want to be erasing, etc. As you can see, I've written the categories down, and under all the categories, I've written the letters S for specific, M for measurable, and T for time-bound. Now, I know what we're writing is smart. However, you don't have to write down the A and R. Just make sure they're attainable and realistic. Of course, don't limit yourself. Stretch yourself when writing goals because only God is able to help you fulfill whatever you write. So feel free to dream big. For my spiritual, understand that there are 66 books in the Bible and some are lengthier than others. And because there are 52 weeks in a year, I am going to read 2 books per week. I like the idea of the mustard seed. It is the simplest seed out there. The smallest seed out there. And if you're not careful, you may blow it by simply breathing too close to it. However, once it starts germinating, it grows as one of the largest trees out there. The purpose of this analogy is to show you the importance of your days. What you do per day will determine the week. What you do per week will affect your month. And what you do each month will overall affect your year. So as you can see, each goal is broken down from year to month to the week to the day. It's every little thing you do per day that will grow into a productive year. For my S in the spiritual category, I wrote that I want to complete the whole Bible. Now that is very specific. For the M, I wrote that I will read 8 books per month, 2 books per week, and read for 30 days daily. Now you see what I'm talking about? I have the year, the month, the week, and the daily stuff. And then for T, I'm going to finish it by December 31st of 2019. Oopsie, look at me going backwards, of 2020. And let's go to the next one here. So for this next one, you see I have family. Now there are some goals that are going to be tricky to put in the SMT order, but you can work around it. For example, in 2020, my entire family and I are going to Sierra Leone for Christmas, which I'm super excited for. So what I did was to Google all the necessary requirements to travel, like vaccination fees, visa, plane tickets, etc. I won't go into too much detail with this one because it's still in the works, but I figured this may help anyone out there with goals that are not quite easy to put in an SMT order. So for S, I wrote family vacation to Sierra Leone. I'm pretty sure that's specific, right? For M, I wrote save $240 per month to purchase plane tickets by September 1st. Get vaccinated by May 1st. Apply for passport by June 1st. For T, I wrote trip will take place in December and TBD. I wrote TBD because I'm still trying to figure out everyone else's schedule, and then I'll be able to have a specific date. Now, the next one I'm going to do is the health. Now, this one is very personal to me. But I figured to share it anyways to show that what matters to you is important, no matter how silly it may sound. Most people may think that this is silly. However, Daddy upstairs knows that it matters to me. So I'm putting this down, okay? So comment below, guys. What's one thing that's important to you, but maybe silly to others that you're expecting in 2020? Now, with this one, it's a bit tricky when it comes to timing, etc. So I'm not too hard on myself about this one or rushing it, but I'm still expectant because all things, including supernatural hair growth, are possible to those that believe. So for S, I wrote to have full, thick, strong, and healthy hair. Now, I'm pretty sure we know what that means, right? Now, all my natural sisters, we don't need to write specifics about it. We know what's up, okay? So for the M, what I did was I started researching based on my 2019 experience. What works for me? What are the things I've been doing that has been showing results? And for M, I wrote that I'm going to drink 64 ounces of water daily. Notice I didn't put I'm going to drink water. Oh, no. I was very specific with my water intake. I'm going to massage my scalp 3 times a week. I'm going to have 2 weeks of rest between natural protective hairstyles. So that meaning like I'm not going to keep braiding after braid after braid. No, I'm going to have a break. I'm going to dip condition once a month, etc. And then by December 31st is the time bound. The best ways to keep track of your goals are sort of kind of like mine, where you don't really, they're a bit tricky, is taking pictures. I take pictures of everything, literally. So I take pictures and I compare them and see, has there been any change? Has there been any growth, etc.? So that's one of the things I'm going to do. I used to make financial goals based on my abilities and what I'm able to do. But then the Lord started asking me if I trusted him. And of course I said yes. But then he started revealing to me how I've been limiting him. When it comes to things of the ministry, he said I believed in him 100%. When it came to my personal life, for some reason I limited him. And I'm pretty sure we all can relate to this, right? Anyways, so because the God kind of woke me up, I would say I realized that my job was to dream big, and God's job is to do it. So for this, I don't really know how it's going to happen. All I know is it's going to happen. For the S, I wrote that I'm going to make $100,000. It will be in my account by the 31st, which is my T. And I kind of have an idea of how it's going to happen, what I'm going to do. But like I said, this is my faith goal right here. I know I'm going to open 2 shops back home. I know I'm going to have a new Bluetooth product coming out, which will be released in September. So whoop, whoop, whoop. And I've already started my business. It's called Beyond Finances, LLC. Now with this business, I help people to kind of be in control of their money. And, I get profits from that. So that's kind of going towards my finances as well. Okay. So those are 3 examples that I thought would be really good for you guys to kind of see. So I gave you this example that was very, very specific, very easy to put in the SMT order. And I gave you goals that kind of stretches me out like a lot. And I have a goal that's kind of a little tricky, but I made a way to make it work. Alrighty. Now I think you have an idea of the SMART goal concept. So I literally do that for each of my 3 to 5 goals per category where I fine tune them. And it can be time consuming. So don't be afraid to give yourself some break and time to go back and make any adjustment. Once I've done my final adjustments, I then put my vision into pictures and I paste them on my vision board as you see here. I don't like clutter, and sometimes I find that when people put too many things, it's not as effective. So only put the ones that I only put the ones that I know I definitely need to constantly have before me. Otherwise, I'll usually get off track. Once I've completed my vision board, I paste it in my bedroom and look at it every single day. Literally, I look at it every day, okay? Because out of sight, out of mind, okay? So I look at it to make sure that I'm staying in track and I know what I'm going for. And what I also do is I take a picture of that vision board and save it to my phone. So I have no excuses not to look at it. Then I take everything I've written for the whole year and separate them by months. And that's kind of easy because you've seen it how in the SMT order, you've seen that I wrote month and I wrote what I'm going to do a week, what I'm going to do per day. So I kind of break those monthly things and then I put it in my planner. I go to the monthly section of my planner and I write down the deadlines of all of those things. And then I break down those month stuff into week things, as you can see, weekly goals, and break those weekly goals into daily goals. That's the principle of the mustard seed. So now let's come straight to the planner. Like I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure you get one that gives you enough space to write in. Find one that has few blank pages in the front and the back. On the weekly part, have enough space to write things in. As you can see here, my planner has enough room in the back and front to write extra things in. And I love the fact that I'm able to be as flexible as I possibly can from here. From the original paper where I wrote my entire goals in details, I then go and separate those goals by months, which I've already discussed earlier. And then, like I explained earlier, write those monthly deadlines in the monthly sections and stuff like that. Okay. Now, this is the key to make your 2020 effective, by making daily fives. So what are daily fives? Daily fives are pretty much things you're going to do every single day based on your goals. As you can see here, I wrote my daily fives. I have devotion, which covers spiritual, exercise, which covers health, listen to one message. When I said message, I'm talking about like faith building message. I'm talking about financial messages, just anything that is going to help me grow intellectually and business wise and etc. And then I wrote Fode/Brown, which covers family. And I wrote that I'm going to read a book. So I have devotion, exercise, listen to one message, Fode/Brown, read a book. So that's my daily fives. And now, like I mentioned earlier, some of your goals may have deadlines earlier than December. So make sure that you are staying on those goals as well. So don't just say, I'm going to just wait till, December, then I'm going to check. No, stay. And then as you're going through each goals, as you complete them, check it off. I'm telling you, it makes you feel really good, like you're checking things off. So check it off. But what I do with my planners, I write my goals I make my schedule every Sunday. Every Sunday, literally. So I sit down, write my daily fives on the left side of my planner, as you can see here. I write all my daily fives. I write in a different color, which is blue, and everything else is in different color. Once I write those, every time I do them, I mark it, I cross it out with red, cross it out. On the right side of it, I write what I'm going to do that week, or each day that week. And sometimes, the day you may deviate from those a little bit, and that's okay. So don't be too harsh on yourself. But when you write things down, whenever you sway, it kind of brings you back to it, because boy, if I don't do this, that means the next day I'm going to have extra work. And we don't want extra work, right? And my Saturdays and weekends, they're usually free. I don't write anything on my weekends because all work, no play makes FA a dull girl. So I leave it open for me to just do whatever I want. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And like I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions, any concerns, or need help, feel free to reach out to me, okay?